January 2019. 3 miles down in the South Pacific, an autonomous submarine is scanning a pitch-black coordinate when its sonar catches something that should not be there. A shadow the length of 3 city blocks, with a tower jutting from one side and rectangular holes punched straight through the middle. The research team aboard the research vessel Petrel knows exactly what they are looking at. The carrier pulled off one of the war's most audacious stunts, launching Army bombers that were never designed to fly off a ship straight into the heart of Tokyo with no way to come back. Here is what we are about to uncover: how 6 forensic clues locked in the wreck confirmed her identity after 77 years, and why the damage pattern told a story that survivor reports got wrong. But it starts with a math problem in April 1942. 16 bombers, not enough deck, in a launch window that is about to slam shut. The coordinates place the wreck roughly 400 miles northeast of the Solomon Islands, in a basin where the seabed drops past 17,000 feet. Research vessel Petrel, the same vessel that found USS Lexington, USS Junio, and the battleship Musashi, has been running search grids here for weeks, using drift models and survivor testimonies to narrow the box. The first sonar contact comes back clean. The autonomous underwater vehicle's side scan shows a carrier profile, long central axis, island offset to starboard, deck edges with the characteristic sponson bulges of a Yorktown-class hull. The shape is unmistakable, but at this depth, you need more than a silhouette. What is at stake is not just identification. 140 crew members went down with this ship. Families have waited nearly 8 decades for confirmation, and there is an unresolved question buried in the action reports, conflicting accounts about how she actually sank, which weapons delivered the killing blows, and whether the scuttling attempts even worked before Japanese destroyers closed in. The sonar pass also picks up something unexpected: a damage pattern concentrated. Along one side of the hull, there was damage that did not match the sequence described in official records. That detail is going to matter. USS Hornet CV-8 was the third and final Yorktown-class carrier launched in October 1940 from Newport News Shipbuilding. She displaced 19,800 tons at standard load, and she stretched 809.5 feet from bow to stern. 4 geared turbines pushed 120,000 shaft horsepower to her screws, giving her a top speed of 32.5 knots in clean water. Her air group capacity was north of 90 aircraft, fighters, dive bombers, and torpedo planes cycling through 3 flight deck elevators. She was commissioned on October 20th, 1941, which means she entered active service exactly 7 weeks before Pearl Harbor. By the time the United States declared war, Hornet was still working up her air wing and had not seen combat. That was about to change in the most unconventional way possible. The Navy wanted to hit Tokyo, but no carrier-based aircraft had the range. The solution? Risk load, 16 B-25 Mitchell medium bombers, Army planes never meant for carrier decks, onto Hornet and launch them within striking distance of Japan. The math should not work. A B-25 needs 450 feet of runway with a combat load. Hornet's deck is 809 feet, but the aft half is packed with her own aircraft. Effective launch space, 460 feet, launching from the bow with 0 room for error. Doolittle. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle goes first on April 18, 1942. His bomber is the lightest. Hornet turns into the wind at flank speed, adding 30 knots of airflow. He releases at the white line, throttles full, and claws airborne with 20 feet to spare. Threat. Then a Japanese picket boat spots the task force. Admiral Halsey orders immediate launch, 170 miles farther out than planned. None of the bombers have fuel to return. They will hit Tokyo and fly west to China, hoping to find airstrips before running dry. All 16 but 25 Mitchell bombers get off the deck. They reach Tokyo and drop ordnance on industrial targets and disappear inland. Most crews make it out. 3 are executed, 8 captured. The raid does minimal physical damage, but the psychological impact is massive. Tokyo was untouchable. Until now, Japan pulls defensive resources back to the home islands. 4 carriers get consolidated for the Midway operation, where all 4 sink 6 weeks later. Hornet's deck would never see another mission like it. October 26, 1942. Hornet is hunting Japanese fleet units northeast of the Santa Cruz Islands when both sides launch strikes simultaneously. 0810 hours. Japanese dive bombers penetrate the combat air patrol. 2 550-pound bombs hit the flight deck. One detonates in the hangar bay, the other in the gallery spaces below. Fires spread through ventilation trunks. 0917 hours. A torpedo slams into the starboard side amidships. The warhead floods the forward machinery spaces. All power dies. 10:15 hours. A second wave hits. One bomb collapses the forward elevator, another detonates aft and ignites pooling aviation fuel. Fires rage across 3 decks. Destroyer USS Northampton tries towing, but Hornet drags stern first in the cable parts. The decision? Scuttle her before Japanese forces arrive. USS Mustin fires 9 torpedoes. 6 hit. Hornet stays afloat. USS Mustin and USS Anderson fire over 400 5-inch rounds at point-blank range. Still afloat. After midnight, Japanese destroyers Makigumo and Akigumo arrive and fire 4 long-lance torpedoes, each with a 1,000-pound warhead. Hornet finally sinks bow first at 0135 hours on October 27th, taking 140 men with her. 77 years later, discovery by side scan would reveal which weapons actually killed her. RV Petrel's autonomous underwater vehicle is rated for 6,000 meters and carries high-frequency side-scan sonar operating between 100 and 400 kilohertz. Higher frequency trades range for resolution. You can see details smaller than a meter. The search uses grid boxing. Start with survivor accounts and USS Mustin's last coordinates. Overlay current drift modeling across 77 years. That creates a search box of 10 to 15 square nautical miles. The autonomous underwater vehicle flies 50 to 100 meters above the seabed in a lawnmower pattern, each pass covering 200 meters. Side scan pulses create shadow images. Objects block sound and cast shadows. Pass 17 flags an anomaly, a shadow too regular and geometric. The team reviews the data and sees perpendicular features, probable deck structures. They reprogram for a close pass at 30 meters altitude. Pass 19 delivers it. The return shows an intact island rising from starboard, elevator shafts visible, and a Yorktown-class hull profile. But confirmation requires forensic proof. The wreck sits upright, bow collapsed, but the hull structurally intact. 6 features confirm identity. First, island silhouette. Yorktown-class carriers have a distinctive stepped island, offset to starboard, with a single funnel canted outboard. The sonar shows exactly that configuration. Second, elevator positions. 3 rectangular openings in the deck, spaced per blueprint plans. The forward elevator is jammed down, consistent with bomb damage. The aft elevator is flush with the deck. Third, gun mounts. 5-inch gun mounts appear on quadruple sponsons projecting from the flight deck edge. Sonar picks up 6 sponsons, symmetrically placed, matching Hornet's 1941 refit. Fourth, deck shape. Rounded bow with the Yorktown turtleback curve, squared stern with a resting gear overhang. Both intact. Fifth, hull damage, starboard side. The sonar shows concentrated torpedo craters in a vertical line. The aft section has hundreds of smaller penetrations from 5-inch shells. The bow is collapsed inward, not blown outward, indicating massive flooding and structural failure. Sixth, visible fittings. The island retains windscreen posts, antenna mounts, and the funnel angled 15 degrees outboard. These are specific to USS Hornet's ass-built configuration. The damage resolves the question. The Japanese long lances delivered the killing blows. The bow collapse matches 4 1,000-pound warheads, detonating below the waterline, flooding every forward compartment. U.S. torpedoes and gunfire shredded superstructure, but didn't break the keel. It took the long lances to finish what 3 hours of battle started. Here's what the wreck confirms. USS Hornet absorbed at least 10 torpedo hits, 6 from U.S. forces, 4 from Japanese destroyers, and she still took over 4 hours to sink. That validates Yorktown-class damage control design. These ships were built to be nearly impossible to kill quickly. The intact island and elevator positions show Hornet went down nearly level, not capsized. Damage was catastrophic below the waterline, but above the main deck she stayed intact almost to the end. 140 men stayed aboard during scuttling, trapped by fires or fighting to save the ship until the last moment. The wreck is their memorial. USS Hornet is a war grave under the United States Sunken Military Craft Act. RV Petrel documented the site and withdrew without disturbing the wreck.